What's the best thing you guys did at Auburn when you looked at the video?
Responded. I mean, that's a tough environment. It was really loud in there, and they're a very experienced team. So, you know, you knew they weren't going to be rattled. And then when they put pressure on us down the stretch, our team is so young. You know, I think we showed our resolve, our toughness, playing on the road in that kind of environment, that we were able to respond when they responded. And that's a trait of a championship team when you can do that in that kind of environment.
Does State kind of have the similar experience?
Similar experience. It seemed like, you know, when you're watching their team getting prepared for them, that they've, similar to Auburn, that they've got those guys that have been around for 10 years, like they should have graduated by now, or be off in the NBA somewhere. I mean, they're a talented veteran team. Obviously, two different styles, very contrasting style between what Auburn does and how they play and what Mississippi State does. So it'll be kind of night and day playing against the two different teams.
What is that style?
Just a little more deliberate, not as fast as pace, not as quick as shots, more deliberate. Take advantage of their big guys and size. They got great size and depth on the interior, but their guards get a lot done too. You know, it seems like Peters has been there forever. The Witherspoon brothers have been there forever. I mean, it just seems like those guys have been there forever, and so they play with their pace. They don't get rushed, and they get the shots that they want to get every time down. So we're going to have to be as good as we were defensively at Auburn at home tomorrow.
How good is home?
I mean, obviously you look at the record that Cal's had over his 10 years, 9.5 years in that building. It says all it says in the record. I mean, it's a tough place for opponents to play.
How hard is it to, maybe not hard, but how long does it take some freshmen to learn how to use screens in terms of take it tight, take that turn tight so your guy doesn't follow you through? It seems like one guy that's starting to get that is Tyler, and he's getting some shots because of it.
He is. Keldon is. It's no different. Those guys are no different than any of the freshmen we've had here over the years. It's a roller coaster ride. They're typical freshmen until we get into late January, early mid-February. Then you see those guys. They've been through so many games at this level. They've seen all the different defenses and how people play them, how physical it is in league play. But those are two guys, Keldon and Tyler specifically, that they're getting a little quicker than some of the freshmen we have had. They've got a toughness about them. Especially on the offensive floor.
Is Reed setting about as good a screens as any guy Cal has had? I mean, it seems like a brick wall in terms of when he wants to knock you off your spot.
Yeah, you don't want to run into Reed because you're going to stop dead in your tracks. So he does a great job of setting them, and those guys, and then a few of the other guys are doing a good job of setting their men up and coming off of it tight, which allows them to get a good hit on the defender.
With Tyler, it seems like he's more and more embracing. Give me the ball at the end. Cal said he was saying, let me do this. I think 10 of his points in the last 5 minutes. Was the guy willing to take the shot at the end of the Alabama game, even though it didn't go in? Is that something that is emerging out of him here as he gets more confident? Or?
No, he's had it. He's had it from day one. Ultimate confidence guy. Never rattled, never flustered. Doesn't matter time, score, situation, game, level of game, opponent, does not matter. He doesn't see that. He's just out there having fun, playing the game of basketball. And that's why he doesn't get rattled in those moments and wants to take and make the big shots.
I mean, what's the kind of progress report on your three-point defense right now?
It's getting better. It's getting better. I mean, you look at Auburn's 13 makes, that's their average. You think that's a little higher for usual, but when you take 40 a game, you're going to make a pretty good percentage of them. And we did a fairly good job in the first half against Auburn, but, give them credit. And Bruce Brown, give him credit. He got really hot and he takes and makes some difficult shots. He didn't make them in the first half, made most of them in the second half. But I think defensively, you're seeing the track of Cal's normal teams. I mean, it's roller coaster ride because you got so many young guys and their heads spinning defensively with all the different offenses. They're seeing that they're having a guard and personnel, and now they're getting settled into a rhythm. They've seen a couple different things a couple different times now. So when you become familiar with something, you become more comfortable, and that's what you can see. Especially with our young guys, they're getting more and more comfortable on the defensive end of the floor, and it's making our defense that much better.
How much progress do you see with the offensive balance? I mean, do you like the way that it's progressing right now?
Yeah, you look at Cal's teams historically, going back to the teams that I played on, you know, he's always had a team of guys. He's never really had a team where one guy averages 25 points a game and everybody else is in single digits. He's always had teams of 4 and 5 guys in double-figure scoring, and some nights it's your night, some nights it's the other guy's night, depending on whether you got it going or how a defense is playing you. And you look at Auburn, you had Keldon and Tyler, and Cal said, look, we're going to need you two to score in this game. We just, by the way they defend, those guys are going to have to go get it because they were going to make it harder on Reed and PJ. So those guys stepped up, and then this next game, who knows? The game before could be somebody else's game, and that's when you have a team that can do a lot of special things, when you've got multiple guys that can step up on any given night.
Tony, how much does their size help them as bigger guards? What
Big-
difference does that make?
They can make it's easier for them to score given their size and their experience. They can get to their spots. You're talking about our guys. You're talking about
Yeah, yours.
yeah. Those guys can get to their spots. I mean, they do a good job of reading screens. They both can shoot it from the three-point line. So now you've got to respect them and chase them off the line. If not, they're going to knock those things down. And if you do that, they're capable of getting to a hard shot, that mid-range shot in today's game where most coaches don't like it. Cal's one who doesn't mind it because those two guys in particular are good at getting to 8, 9, 10 feet, and they've got pull-ups, they've got runners. I think Tyler had a finger roll from about 9 feet at Georgia the last game that hit the bottom of the net. So those guys are crafty scoring the ball on their side. It makes it easier for them to do it in different spots on the floor.
What did that shot look like that Harper took that rattled out at the very end? How far down? I didn't have a good look.
It looked down. I mean, from us sitting on the bench, it looked like it was in. But we defended it the way we wanted to defend that shot. I mean, we had to get him off the three-point line. If you let him dance with the ball and pull into a three, I mean, that's as good of a layup for him, as confident as he is as a scorer and a shooter. And he's not as efficient in that mid-range area because of his size. So we wanted to get him off the three-point line, which we were capable of doing. We wanted him going left, not to his right. And fortunate for us, he missed because he had a clean look.
And Eric Holman, the big guy for State, how
he's really grown over his time at State. I mean, he's added weight to his body. He's strong. He's confident in what he's doing, and he's shooting the ball as good as anybody in our league, guard or big or in between. I mean, he's I think in league play right now over 50% from the three, and taking a lot of them. I mean, so I think he's making 3 per game in their last 5 games, making 3, not taking 3. He's making 3 threes per game. So I like what I see out of him. He's gotten better over these years, and that's what happens when you stay someplace for 3 or 4 years. You're going to become better.
Is that a particular challenge for your bigs to have to go out onto the floor?
Yeah, especially the way we like our bigs protecting the rim. It becomes a challenge because now they're going to be stretched beyond the 3, especially in that position.
You said Mississippi State's a little more deliberate than Auburn. What kind of pressure does that put on you defensively? What's the key playing a veteran team that's deliberate with the ball?
Well, we got to be a little more disciplined defensively in the half court for more of an extended period of time. I think we watching Auburn, they're going to take a shot within the first 8 seconds of the shot clock, the majority of the time. Mississippi State's the opposite. They're going to take a shot in the last 8 seconds of the shot clock the majority of the time. So we're going to have to be more disciplined. We're going to have to communicate for a longer period of time, and that's more of a challenge with so many young guys that we play.
With that being said, though, you've had some experience with teams taking it 30 seconds in, and how have you seen that evolve this year?
It's come with the experience our guys have gained, and we expect, like Cal says, the clock for our guys is sped up a little bit here, and their learning curve has got to be faster. We can't say over 4 years you're going to get it because most of the guys don't stay that long. So that being said, this team is starting to get it through the maturity, through the experience, through the different type of games and styles they've seen now. So when we say this is what we're going to see this particular game now, let's take you back in your memory bank. These are the teams that we've played that do that. This is what it looked like. Those guys go, oh, okay, the clock, the light comes on and say, okay, I know what we got to do. It makes it easier the further we get into the season.
Is there any thought, this is kind of a cliche about trap game, but the Auburn game I think was highly anticipated. Kansas, highly anticipated. Mississippi State.
You would say that if they were ranked in the top 25 and as good and as talented and as experienced as any team in our league. If those 3 factors weren't there yet, maybe you could say trap game, but not with this Mississippi State team. They're as good as any team in our league. their depth, their experience, they got size, they've got guard play. They're not deficient in any one area. And so for that reason, no, not a trap game at all. These guys got our full attention.
Anything else for Tony?
Thanks,
All
guys.
right,